This kind of repair technology is really unique. The broken and scrapped bulldozer gear shaft can be repaired by using the original steel Rowan docking. Their repair solutions are really endless. In order to repair this important gear shaft, the owner walked 5 kilometers to the repair department. The only requirement was to restore it to its original state. Because the fracture was located exactly in the center of the tooth, the master first had to measure the width of the round tooth to provide a certain reference value for the subsequent splicing. For the flatness of the fracture surface, a plane needs to be processed with a turning tool so that the caliper can be measured more accurately. For this time, the Yonggang through-butt solution is used. The center of the end face must be punched. The hole position is the key to the rejoining of the gear shaft. Obviously, the size of the hole determines the strength. The drilled hole position needs to be continuously increased to make the inner wall smooth and flat, and the strength of the steel penetration can also meet the use requirements. After the standard splicing hole position in the center, in order to be able to freely adjust the tooth width according to the data, Fu directly chose the more complex threaded docking. This solved the problem of gear shaft length. After confirming that the splicing hole position at the foil end was qualified, the next step was to use the same processing data to process the broken gear section. Considering that AverMedia needed to connect the 2 holes in series, the hole diameter at this end did not change at all. After another precise comparison with the caliper, the second splicing Rowan hole position was engraved according to the previous processing logic. Although they did not have high-precision Rowan silicon, the master was also very handy in processing, just like the confidence of an 8th level former master. In order to ensure that the gear shaft can still have the original bearing capacity, the AverMedia selected a 100-ton king half shaft, which had no difference in material and hardness. Then compared with the hole piece fixed in the center of the gear, AverMedia performed meticulous cutting and cutting. Only with consistent data can the color match be achieved. For the necessary splicing thread on the surface, the whole processing process is very simple. At this time, AverMedia is like a large bolt. The nut still needs to be pressed and stressed. A step must be cut out of the wheel end hole so that the outer extension of the nut can fit inside. It must be said that their maintenance is really comprehensive. Then, with the help of the rotation of the window claw plate, the outer extension of the nut can fit tightly. Because the reserved thickness cannot be flush with the end face, the remaining scraps need to be removed by a lathe. The welding groove is cut out at the gap to ensure the subsequent welding area and will not affect the next. The remaining threaded cylinder is rotated and embedded with the flower sword end gear. The advantage of threaded docking is reflected. The gap reserved is the length of the compensation. After confirming that it is correct, the inside is filled with welding rods until the shape of the welding bar is roughly the same as the tooth. Although the current gear shaft length is no problem, after all, the welding bar is welded in the center of the tooth. Under the premise of affecting the width of the tooth slot, the rough welding bar needs to be carefully polished with an angle grinder. The inner side is convex. The groove processed on the outside is the gear, and AverMetal welded into a hole. There is a possibility of looseness inside. At this point, the traces of AverMedia's embedding have disappeared. How many rupees do you think should be charged for such a repair?